Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're going to give it just a couple of seconds here while everybody is logging in. I hope everyone's enjoying their beautiful Tuesday today. Just give it a couple more seconds here. We're excited that you're joining us today. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Mackenzie Tamayo, and I am the COVID Task Force Manager for El Paso County, the SBDC program here. And we're super excited that you are part of this today as we discuss with a group of amazing panelists about some of the options that you have in regards to your business, the five-star program procedures and some of the updates that come with that. Very quickly, I'd like to introduce you to the SBDC. So the SBDC is here in El Paso and Teller County. Our center, along with 1,000 other SBDC centers nationwide, offer free consulting, practical training, and business resources for everyone here in the Pikes Peak region. I obviously have to thank our amazing sponsors. We couldn't do any of this without them. I'd like to give a big shout out to El Paso County Economic Development, Ent Business Banking, the City of Colorado Springs, PSB Trust, Lumen, Colorado Springs Utilities, Vector Bank, and the SBA. Really exciting news is that Pikes Peak SBDC is the Region 8 SBA Innovation and Excellence winner for 2020. That puts us in the top 10 in the entire nation. After this webinar, if you're interested in meeting one-on-one with the SBDC consultant or attending additional workshops or webinars, you're more than happy to reach out to us. You can go to pikespeaksbdc.org to get started. So today's webinar will be recorded, so you'll receive an email following this webinar. So you'll have the link to the video and any slides or any kind of websites that you need in regards to what has been discussed today. And those who are watching this as on demand, we'll also send you additional information as well. Super excited to introduce to you today. We've got a group of really great panelists for you. We've got Danny Barger here. She's the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Colorado Springs Chamber and EDC. We've got Eric Pendley, the Regional Director of Operations at SAFEbuilt, which is what has been curated for the five-star program here and does some of the, they'll tell you a little bit more about what they do, as well with Jill Hudoletnjak. So she's the subject matter IT intake and application process, can kind of give you the back end in regards to that. And if you've been on any webinars during COVID, we all know and appreciate Sammi Lawson, who's the Retail Food Program Manager for El Paso County Public Health. So great group of panelists here. If you have any questions as they're going on, please go ahead and put them in the questions tab that's located on the far right side. You'll see it says questions there. You can also put it in the chat if that's more helpful. We will have a 15-minute Q&A at the end. So a lot of the questions will probably be answered on as we go along, but feel free to go ahead and put questions in there and I'll facilitate those at the end. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and give it off to Danny, who's going to tell us a little bit about the website.
Thanks, Mackenzie. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see. On my screen. Okay, can you all see the website? Yes? Okay, super. And actually now I can't see it, so here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly walk through our website that has the resources, how to apply, and where to come for information. So the URL is coloradosprings.chamberedc.com/5-star. And here we, as I mentioned, we'll keep the most up-to-date information. Of course, we, a day or two after we launched our program, the state dial changed, which is great, and moved El Paso County into yellow. So we just wanted to lead off with information on what impacts that the dial change has to business and how the five-star program is impacted. So businesses, please take a look through this and just make sure your business is still may still benefit from this great program. We'll keep this up to date, as I said, and the biggest caveat right now is that businesses in yellow may not operate to blue until 70% of 70-year-olds are vaccinated with at least one dose, and that's expected to happen here in a couple weeks. So the program is still great, and then if you're certified, you're automatically going to get to go into blue once we hit those metrics. So just scrolling down a little bit further, we've got some more information on the program. The framework is, there's links to that, as well as the other municipalities that are participating. And then moving down, this section's really kind of the meat and potatoes, talking about how to apply. And we wanted to make sure that you are all successful in filling out your application. So there's a sample application for all different industries, whether you're general business, restaurants, breweries and bars, gyms and fitness, personal services, and indoor events. And as Eric and the SAFEbuilt team will tell you, one of the hiccups that you may encounter is the application. So again, we just wanted to make this as easy as possible for you to see. So I'll just click on a sample here. Here's the restaurant and restaurant bar brewery application. And so just scrolling through here, we've tried to make this as user-friendly as possible and provided some examples of some narrative that will make you successful in moving your application through the process. So the multi-page, 9 pages may seem daunting, but we hope that these samples help you guys fill these out successfully and make sure all the pertinent details are included in your application. So going back to the landing page, so you'll actually download your application and fill it out according to the sample, and you'll save the plan onto your device. And then this part's important. You're going to create an account through the SAFEbuilt platform, which Eric and Jill will talk about. But make sure and choose where your business resides. That's important for the application. For our Spanish-speaking businesses, please contact the SBDC at this number here, and we can have a consultant help guide you through your application process. Next steps, the SAFEbuilt team will accept your application or contact you with questions, and then once the application's gone through, then the inspection piece is next, and I'll let Eric and Jill talk about that a little bit further. If you have questions, comments, complaints, and whatnot, there's a variety of ways to enter your information here. So if you're a business and you need some support on the application process, you'll click this link. For customers who are filing a complaint, there's some other areas to go to there too. And then of course, there's a state complaint form here. And if there's any other questions, this is a sort of a full inbox that will take all questions and then kind of triage them to the appropriate person to answer them. And then we also just wanted to flag the sales tax rebate program. So qualifying restaurants in El Paso County may receive up $700 a month, and qualifying restaurants in Colorado Springs can get an even larger rebate too. So make sure and take a look at that too while you're on our page here. So just scrolling back up and just to also just share, we've got the framework tab, a link to some resources, and this has more just kind of FAQs on the program. We wanted to make sure that the latest dial capacity restrictions are very visible for you all here. So this is a nice quick snapshot. And again, this is brand new as of just a couple days ago. So take a look here and see where your business falls. And then again, we try to just keep the resources and links here front and center for you all, so that you're able to kind of guide your process as easily as you can from a user experience standpoint. And then again, just flagging the sample applications. And that's really the gist of it. We did try and keep this nice and simple, as simplified as possible. We know this can be confusing, and we want to be as user friendly as possible. But I'm happy to take any questions on the website, or we can save those to the end, and I can turn it over to Eric.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I do have Jill with me. She's going to go through Community Core, which is the program that we use for the 5-star certification process. And as you saw on the main web page, I can highly suggest use the resources. The sample applications, it does help speed up the process for you to get into inspections. So I would make sure that you do look at those carefully and provide as much detail as you can in those applications. Because as soon as I receive something on Community Core that there's an application ready to be reviewed, I will upload your document and start reviewing them. So if there's anything missing, I will kind of put it on hold, and you will receive an email and a document showing what else that we do need to proceed. So please use the resources that's on the website. They are very thorough, and it'll help your process to where we've seen inspections next day after application. So if you want your business certified quickly, please use the resources. So at this time, we will have Jill start sharing the Community Core with all of you on how simple it is to use. And it's very user-friendly, and we've not had too many questions or issues so far up to date. So Jill, if you want to go ahead and start the presentation on Community Core.
Wonderful. All right, I am going to start right where kind of Danny left off. The very first starting point for you will be actually logging on to the 5-star website. You'll come on down here and start your process with your step 1, step 2, and 3. Once you have your application downloaded, filled out, saved to your desktop, what you'll then do is proceed to the jurisdiction that you're going to be applying in. If you happen to apply in multiples, that is perfectly fine. You can click on each link and just ensure that you add your email address to each jurisdiction that you would belong to. So you would click on the jurisdiction, and it's going to bring you to this page right here. And you'll register as a community member. When you register, you're entering your email address, and that gets you started within the system so you can log in. Once you get logged in, your very first screen is going to bring you to what we call Community Connect. This is our platform for online use. This is where you're going to be able to fill out, apply for your application. You're going to be able to interact back and forth with SAFEbuilt as far as any of the needs that need to be met in order to get approved. Once you are approved, you're also going to be able to schedule that inspection through here. You'll be able to watch the process as it goes through. You'll also notice when you log in, you will have the ability to chat with support. I am support. If you click on your chat bubble, you're going to have a box pop up. You can say, send us a message, and we can interact live if you have questions as you go. You also will have access to how-to guides, whether it's just applying for the building application and how to do inspections. You'll have all of that at your fingertips pretty easily. I'm going to walk you through currently how to create an application. Once here, click Create Application. You'll come over here to Permit Type. You'll select the type that you are entering, whether it's a gym, 5-star, restaurant, indoor events, and so on. I'm going to go with a restaurant. You can enter a description if you have one. You have the ability to look up your address. This is Google Maps, so whatever address you start to enter, it's going to start the autofill for you. Same as applicant. The applicant name, applicant email is exactly how you registered. You can save the same address, or you can enter another address if need be. The business name. Your posted occupancy limit. If you hover over the little eye icon, it's going to give you a little brief description of what you're looking for. You'll also notice here is where you need to upload your application that you previously downloaded from the 5-star site. You'll click on Documents. You can drag and drop, or you can just select your file. Select Other. You can enter a note for the reviewer if need be. Click OK. Your document has been uploaded. You may now just submit your application. Here you're going to have a few terms to look over. Each one you're going to read. Click the box. you have terms. If you click on the terms, it'll give you a brief description of what it is and you're acknowledging. Click OK, check your box, OK. Your application has been submitted. When you move back to your main page, you'll notice in applications, it is now pending review. This is where SAFEbuilt will pick up. You will also have received an email stating that your application is now pending review. Once this review process has been accepted and approved, then you'll also get an email stating it's time for you to go ahead and schedule your inspection. And I will go ahead and get this accepted. Alrighty, and we'll move back to active. And the fees will, once they have approved it, you'll notice it change and your inspections will open up. You'll be able to see right here the status of the current one. So once you receive your email that states that you're able to continue on and go ahead and schedule your inspection, you will log back into your site. You will click on your application. You'll see over here on the left navigation, you have inspections. Once you click here, you'll find your list of inspections that are available for your specific application. Within here, you're going to click on Actions. You will request. You can click the box that will highlight all of the listed inspections. Click Continue. It automatically defaults to the following business day. You do have the ability to outdate if need be, if you're going to be ready for it next week, so you can pre-schedule if needed. You can enter site contact information, name, phone number, and email if you have somebody that you need to have reached while you're out there. Enter any notes. And click OK. Your inspection is now scheduled, and it'll show you the date that it's scheduled for and the time window all day. Day of inspection, you can have them reach out to you if need be in order to follow through. Once your inspections have been confirmed, passed, resulted, SAFEbuilt will then go ahead and upload a certificated letter where you're able to find and be able to download from your documents area. And within here, you'll have your approval document that you can post on your website. Any questions? Great. All righty, thank you.
Eric, do you want to add anything to that at all?
Yeah, so the more information you can input, like name of contact, any phone numbers, when you're scheduling inspections in that bottom box, name and phone number, we do use those, and we will do call aheads if requested, and we will also be able to give a 2-hour window of the day of your inspections. We do offer Saturday inspections as well, to let everybody know. So in the system, you cannot schedule for a Saturday inspection. So what you can do is in the notes box, when you request an inspection, when we open it up, we'll be able to read the notes and say that you requested a Saturday inspection, and we will schedule it for that Saturday. So other than that, it is a pretty simple program to use. And also we do have an email address to reach out directly if you do have any more questions as well. And I believe that's on the website too. So.
Great, thank you. So we've got a few questions here. Sammy, Joe, these might be for you and Danny as well. So someone had mentioned that there's been talk that people are already certified. So wondering what that means and if that's true and whatnot.
Sure, I'll let Eric take a first stab on how many or who's all been certified initially.
So I had to pull up the report. So far to date, we do have 18 restaurants that have gone through the inspection process and are certified. So, and they're certified to they're in yellow at this point until the county can get 70% of the 70-year-olds on up vaccinated. So.
Sammy, Joe, can you speak more to the to what that looks like with the vaccinations and 70% and whatnot, and kind of timeline and more of what that can look like for the county?
Sure. So the direction that we've been given by the governor, so just as a reminder, all of this is run by CDPHE. So what they have informed us is they are anticipating that the 70% of 70-year-olds will be completed by the end of the month. So that was the estimated timeline that the state had given us, because it is statewide. It's not just El Paso County. So we'll definitely keep everybody updated. I know our team's working really hard to better understand if there's a way that we can visually see that progress or not, and where that data can all be displayed. So that's something we're working on currently.
Great. Can we speak more to kind of the general like business mitigation process with this in regards to, what changes with this program? Is there anything outstanding? Obviously, I know that there's worksheets people can kind of go through to see kind of what the changes is to be a part of this. But is there anything outstanding, that people need to be aware of? For example, like ventilation requirements, those types of things. So can we kind of speak to some of those maybe outstanding things that maybe aren't as easily accessible for small businesses?
Sure. Does SAFEbuilt want to take one, or I will? Sorry, I'm trying not to step on toes. Well, I know for ventilation wise, what we're looking for is increased ventilation. So what we want to know is, what do you have currently now, and what could you do to increase that? So whether that means getting your HVAC system maybe hasn't always been working properly. So let's say you go ahead and get that serviced. Maybe you increase circulation of the air. Maybe there's some more windows or doors or garage door type things that you can open. So there's a few different ways, and a business can decide what's most feasible for them, but the goal is to increase that ventilation. So doing something towards making that better. And Eric, I don't know if you want to add on to that.
I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi kind of like dipped right when the question was being asked. But yeah, with HVAC, most of the time what we're seeing is people are improving their filters, going to a HEPA filter or a MERV filter. So we see that, and then also continuously running their systems. That way the air exchanges are going on, and that does meet the guidelines set forth by the state. If there's older systems out there, there's always the option also of opening up a door and a window or two windows on each end, putting a fan in the one and blowing the air directly out just to get cross ventilation. Of course, in the winter, that's not the best ideal circumstance, but right now it's just, a lot of the filters just being improved. And what we do is we ask to take a picture of that work order as well.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add, I think the big things to know as a business that is added as a requirement for the 5-star is also that you do have to make sure you're doing that daily employee symptom and exposure check and have some sort of record of that. So before, these are all things that the public health order have been kind of asking, but you didn't necessarily have to have the documentation for. So when you're enrolling in something like this, you really have to prove on paper what that plan looks like. How are you documenting that? Also reservations. So having some way to keep track of at least somebody as a point of contact for each party that's seated at a restaurant. Those are things that we have always said are really great practices to have, but weren't necessarily required. So those are a few additions that are good to know as a business owner.
That's great.
And we do look for those during our inspections.
So Eric, I'm hoping you can tell me a little bit more about the inspections, the frequency, or kind of walk me through inspections and who can they expect and those types of things.
Well, we have several individuals. I've been out there doing inspections, but it's more educational. It's not like, we run a building inspection business and everybody's afraid of building inspectors. But through this program, it's educational. We go in, there's been times that someone's missed a column on a sign-in sheet, like, hey, what table number are these people sitting at? So we just kind of educate them and can just kind of help them along with the process. So it's more educational we can be in our communication. What we're seeing at the end of the inspection, everybody understands the program, and they're very excited to be able to get to that next level when the county goes. So the inspection, it doesn't take very long. It could, the Broadmoor took 2 hours because that was a lot of different businesses, but most businesses, it's about 20 to 30 minutes if everything is there to verify. So it's really helpful if everybody can have their documents out ready for the inspection, and then we can be in and out and they can get on with their business.
Sammi, how does public health play into fact with all of this? Do you come along with this? Do you check in, or how do you all work together?
Sure. So what my role has been more working with the administrative committee for the 5-star program and just kind of helping to outline some of the protocols for complaints mostly. So kind of crossing over, since we have had the COVID-19 call line that funnels through my department anytime a community member has a complaint or concern about a business. So we can help redirect if it's truly a 5-star complaint to a facility that is currently certified and not following the criteria versus maybe a more normal restaurant complaint. So that's where my team will come into play. Me and my staff will not be doing the 5-star certification. We're going to continue with the routine inspection of a restaurant and still always offering that education and partnering with businesses on that. So we are kind of operating separately, but have a very close avenue of open communication between Eric's team and my team as well.
Great. Who do you think is the best candidate for something like this? Is there a certain venue or a certain kind of restaurant or business that you find would be ideal for this, or kind of talk to me about that?
I can only speak to the restaurant side specifically, but I know there are quite a few venues that will really benefit from this once we can offer level blue. I know it feels a little weird because we're all in level yellow, all businesses are right now at this moment, but for all those businesses who have been going above and beyond since the beginning of this pandemic, this is a way that they could continue to operate at that wider level if, as a community, our metrics shift to a more restricted level. So I do think there are a lot of businesses that certainly can benefit from this. And a lot of our restaurants, both large and small, can have that same effect.
I just also wanted to add some additional benefits or more publicity for these businesses. We at the Chamber and EDC will post the certified businesses to our website. We're working with the Gazette, our media partner, who has expressed strong support in supporting our business community, and do some advertising in the Gazette too. And this is just a great way to amplify that you guys have gone above and beyond with this 5-star certification program, so that your consumers know that you are safe and have gone and done all of the appropriate things to ensure consumer confidence in your operations. So there's lots of other additional benefits too from a marketing and publicity standpoint, and we're here to help, and we want to promote you guys as much as possible and use social media platforms. We have some window decals for you to display in your business to say that you're 5-star certified too. So I think anything, any of that additional support, we're happy to be here for you for the business community, and happy to talk offline if you guys have other ideas on how to amplify the fact that you've gone above and beyond to safeguard your operations.
Great, that's a great point too, Danny. I've got another question here. For general businesses that contain multiple restaurants, personal services, and gyms and fitness centers, who all operate as one business? Does the organization submit one application under general business, or does every outlet submit a separate application?
I will answer that after I unmute myself. Which is easiest is if you have several restaurants in a building, I would suggest doing, if you have 3, I would do 3 applications. And then if you have a gym and you have a salon, do applications for those as well. The reason being, and I know it's more work, if one of the restaurants fails, I can't approve the application because there's 3 tied up to one application. So I would suggest several businesses in a building do an application for each one. That way, you know, if one fails, the other ones can still operate at the 5-star.
That makes sense. Well, speaking to kind of what the Broadmoor would have done, you know, in that regard. So, okay, great. All right, and looks like we've got just one more question here. Danny, can you speak to if they have additional questions? Can you kind of reiterate, you know, where they can talk to about applications? Can someone help them with that process or what that looks like?
Absolutely. So the first thing I'll just share is the URL again. It's cscedc.com/5-star. It's the number 5. And when you scroll down, there is a section that has all of the different links and forms to submit your question or concern. And they're kind of segmented by, you know, if you have a question regarding the application, or if it's more on a business related matter too. And looks like, did you just plug that in the chat, Mackenzie? Thank you for that.
I'll follow up with everybody with the links. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to share a screen again too if needed, but everything lives on that landing page, and we'll keep that live updated to the day, sometimes to the hour.
That's awesome. And then can you speak a little bit more to kind of the marketing piece with that? So is that something that you will reach out to people about, or can they tell you that they've done this, or how do you communicate with SAFEbuilt?
Yeah, great question, Mackenzie. So, and Eric and I were just kind of chatting prior to this call on the best process to be alerted of the certified businesses. So there is a report that's generated from the Community Core software, so that when a business is fully certified, it will basically land on a list, and then from there I can pull that, share with community partners, our fellow chambers, and other, you know, our Visit COS and some other organizations. So then we can all do our part to amplify the certified businesses as a member, or really everybody we're proud to support and amplify. But I think every other organization can give their peeps some extra love as well. And as I mentioned, the Gazette's been amazing partner in this too, and expressed, you know, how can they help. And so we'll be placing advertising through the Gazette to just give our residents an extra visibility, and seeing that, hey, here's a list of companies, restaurants, gyms, and whatnot that have gone through this process and are 5-star certified.
That's great.
Yeah, and open to suggestions too. I know there's a lot of fun, you know, COS foodies, and I love COS, like a lot of great Facebook platforms that I know I personally have utilized when restaurants had outdoor dining and heated patios and things, and we want to amplify and use those platforms as well, because we know people look to those places to say, hey, where can I go and where is open and safe right now?
Well, utilizing the community partners, I think, is so great. So you guys are great about that. And then we had another question real quick. Do customers need to have a wellness check upon entering? Our customers have expressed unwillingness to have a wellness check. So can you talk to me about, is it just employees, Sammy Jo? Is that?
So it doesn't necessarily mean that the restaurant owner is responsible for taking a temperature, but they do need to do some sort of check. Maybe it's just visual, that somebody's not, you know, dripping from the nose and appears ill. So there is a little gray. Eric, what do you think is the best way to define that?
Well, in some areas they do require the temperature check, and then some areas it's that list of questions that the hostess or someone who's at the front counter will ask those 5 questions, and then be able to put those down. So I've seen it different in other areas. But so far in El Paso, they've asked me questions and they actually took my temperature. So it, like you said, it is a gray area in the state program. It's a temperature required, but I do think the intent is those questions should be asked and noted.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's good too to reiterate that, you know, this is just another option for businesses and restaurants and venues, right? It's you don't have to do this. If it works great for you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. So, but I do think having this option has been really awesome to see the community partners come together and work really hard to make this an option for our venues and our restaurants and our businesses. So, and like I mentioned before, thank you so much to all of you for coming. I don't think we have any other questions, but if we do, obviously, I know you are all so easy to reach out to with any kind of nitpicky questions or questions with the applications. Appreciate, Danny, you guys putting together those sample applications has been so helpful. That's just wonderful. And Eric and your team and Jill for all of your help has been so great. So I will be sending a follow-up email to everyone in regards to all of the links here that you have all mentioned with additional questions. And like I've mentioned before, we're Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center. So if you have any questions and need some free consulting and practical training, Danny mentioned too that if anyone needs help with this application in Spanish, they can reach out to us, and we're more than happy to assist in that way as we move forward. So look for this recording as well as all of the links that have been provided here. And if anybody has additional questions, I know all of us are eager to help our businesses. So thanks so much to each of you for being here today. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and we'll be talking soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.